Two people start with nothing. Same town, same kind of job, the same unremarkable paycheck. 40 years later, one is worth 100 million euros. The other is checking the price of heating oil before turning up the heat. The difference isn't luck. It's a handful of money rules and the age you learn them. This is your timeline. You're 18, no savings, no plan, but you already own the one asset that builds real wealth, and you will never have more of it than right now. Time. The clock is running. Let's go. You are 22 now, 4 years gone, and this is the first thing nobody warns you about. The years leave quietly. No alarm goes off. You have a real job, the first paycheck that felt like winning. And for the first time, money is not just passing through you. A little of it stays. Here is where most people make the mistake that costs them everything, and it doesn't look like a mistake. It looks responsible. They take that first surplus and they upgrade. A nicer car, a better apartment. Every euro that stays gets converted into a lifestyle. You do something quieter. You take a small part of what's left, an amount so small it feels almost pointless, 200 or 300 euros a month. And instead of spending it, you send it somewhere it can grow. An automatic transfer. Set once, then forgotten. Money that leaves before you can be tempted by it. 12,000 euros after 4 years of working is not a number that impresses anyone. You can't see it doing anything yet, but you have just done the one thing the 100 million version of you and the broke version of you do differently. Not earning more, not being smarter. You started the clock on purpose. The amount was never the point. Beginning was the point. 25. You are good at your job now. Good enough that the paycheck has grown, and good enough to notice something strange in the account you almost forgot about. It is growing faster than you are feeding it. This is the first time you meet compound interest as a feeling instead of a word. For 3 years you put money in, and it sat there, doing very little. And then, somewhere you didn't notice, it crossed a line. The growth of the money started to outpace your own contributions. The money is now earning money. And that money earns money. Most people your age have a nicer car than you and a smaller number than you. And they would be genuinely surprised which of those two facts matters in 30 years. You also understand something about the job now. The salary feels like the prize. It is not. The salary is raw material. What you do with the gap between what you earn and what you spend, that gap is the only thing that has ever made anyone wealthy. A bigger salary with no gap is just a more expensive way to stand still. So you protect the gap. Every raise, most of it disappears into the transfer before your lifestyle notices the raise happened. You are not depriving yourself. You are paying the most important person on your timeline, the 65-year-old at the end of it. 30. The number in the account has a comma in a place that still surprises you, but 30 is when a quieter problem arrives. You look at your income, a good, responsible income, and you see its ceiling. There is a number your job will reach and not pass, no matter how well you do it. Your time is being sold at a fixed price, and there are only so many hours. The people who only ever climb get to the top of that and stop. You do something else. You start to build a second thing. It is small and unglamorous, and it happens on evenings and weekends. A skill you sell on the side. A little product, something that earns even slightly, even badly, without you being physically present for every euro of it. It barely makes money at first. That is not what it is for. What it is for is the shift it causes in you. Your whole life, you have had exactly one source of income, and one source of income is a quiet, permanent fear. The whole structure depends on a single employer, a single good season continuing. The day a second stream starts trickling in, that fear changes shape. You are no longer just someone who is paid. You are someone who builds things that pay. The 140,000 is real, But the more important asset you now own is that you have stopped depending on one door staying open. 35. 420,000 euros. And this is the phase where I have to be honest with you, because the timeline is about to do something a savings account cannot explain. Up to now, everything you have built is the disciplined saver path. Real, reliable, and if you stopped here, it would still carry you to a comfortable retirement of 1, maybe 2 million euros. That alone puts you ahead of almost everyone. But the numbers from here on do not come from saving. They come from owning. The second thing you started at 30, the small evenings and weekends thing, has quietly stopped being small. It now earns enough that the question is no longer whether it is worth your time, but what happens if you give it all of your time. So you make the decision the saver version of you would have found terrifying. You stop selling your hours to one employer at a fixed price. You go all in on the thing you own. This is the real fork in the road. Not everyone should take it. It carries risk a salary does not, and this video would be lying if it pretended otherwise. But understand what it changes. An employee is paid for the hours they work. An owner is paid for the value the business creates, awake or asleep, present or not. Your income stops being tied to your time, and the moment that tie is cut, the ceiling you hit at 30 simply disappears. 45. 2.5 million euros. And the strange thing is, you can point to the exact moment it stopped feeling like effort and started feeling like physics. You now have 2 engines running at once, and they feed each other. The first is the investment account you have been quietly filling since you were 22. 23 years of compounding, and it now grows by more in a good year than you used to earn in 5. The second is the business you own. And a business is not just income, it is an asset. It has a value. It can be sold. For most of your life, money was something you traded your hours for. You have now built 2 things that produce money without spending your hours at all. The investments work while you sleep. The business works while you sleep. Your time and your income have been completely unhooked, and here is what that buys. And it is not the cars. It is that you have run out of financial fear. There is no single phone call, no lost client, no bad month that can undo you, because nothing you own depends on one source anymore. The 45-year-old who would once have paid a fortune to stand where the 18-year-old stood? That is you. And you did not need to buy the years back. You used them. 55. 20 million euros. And the number, honestly, has stopped being the interesting part. Somewhere in the last decade, the business reached a size you could not have imagined sketching on a kitchen table, and at some point, you either scaled it far beyond yourself, or you sold it, and the proceeds joined the compounding machine you had been running for 33 years. 20 million euros, invested, generates more money every year, doing nothing, than a very good salary. Read that again. Your money now out-earns the working version of almost everyone you have ever met, without you setting an alarm. This is what financially free actually means. Not yachts, not a number to post. It means the link between your survival and your labor has been cut completely. You still work. You almost certainly still work, because by now the work is interesting and it is yours. But you work the way someone plays an instrument, because you want to, not because the heating bill depends on it. The 18-year-old could not see these years. You are now standing inside the decades they could not picture, and they are not a rumor anymore. They are the most ordinary thing in the world, a Tuesday. 65. 120 million euros. A number like that is not built from a salary, and it was never built from saving alone. It is built when a business you owned, the investments compounding beneath it, and 47 uninterrupted years all finished their work at the same time. Each one was unremarkable on its own. Together, over a lifetime, they produced a number that does not look real. And it has quietly changed category. Money at this scale is no longer about you. Your needs were met decades ago. It is the first money in your family's history that will outlive the person who made it. It pays for the education of people not yet born. It is the kitchen table where, this time, a 14-year-old hears the rules early, because you are the one who finally knows them. Here is the part that should stay with you. Go back to the start of this timeline, the 18-year-old with €0 and no plan. Nothing separated them from this except a set of rules, and the years they were given to apply them. You cannot get years back. Nobody can. But there is exactly one moment on this entire timeline where the most years are still ahead of you, untouched, waiting, and it is the moment you are in right now, watching this. The clock is already running. The only question left is the one you started with. What do you do while it runs?